Hi, in this tutorial, I'll talk about how to create adaptive form using form data model. So in my first tutorial, I explained how to create adaptive form. We had 4 options. You can create using form data model, using XML schema, using XDP template, or without anything, like you can drag and drop the fields. So this one I have already explained using tutorial number 7 and 8. In those tutorial, I use form data model, but that was just to submit a data. Now we'll see, we will be having a form data model, and using that form data model, we will not author anything. We can create adaptive form just using that form data model. So we'll see that. This part I have already done. If you don't know how to create form data model, you can go back and check tutorial number 5 of this series. So we'll see a form which has book ID, book author, book subject, and book detail. These fields are available in our form data model, and we'll create a adaptive form using that. So I have this book data model, and if I open this, it has field book ID, author ID, as I told you. So one thing you need to remember here, you have to edit this property. When you create, you won't have this title, right? You will be having only names. So update these titles. I'll show you what is the reason for it. So once you create, you won't have this, update these. And I created some services, get and insert. I have already explained this. Go back and check tutorial number 7 and 8 and just save it. So we are good with this model. Now create a form, go back and form data model. Let me create one. We'll use our template and let's say book details. In configuration container, use your configuration, and in this form data model, say it, I want to create it from form data model. In last tutorial, I select this, but that reason was different. Okay. Now you will see your form data models, whatever models you have, choose this one because we are going to use this. The rest of the things leave as it is, and you're done. Create. Form has been created. Just added this. You will see nothing has been here, only the root panel, right? Earlier in previous tutorial, we used component one by one. We drag and drop component and we created form. But here, go to this last option, last tab, and you will see the here book service, which we created, means book data model. So if I drag and drop this here, you will see a form has been created. Even I did not author anything. Okay, now I told you update these fields. If I go here and if you see, so I said when you create form data model, you won't have these IDs, titles. So reason being is, if you don't update here in the label, you will see the name, whatever the name here. So if you don't update, you will see this book underscore ID here also. So it's better to update that. Otherwise later on also you can update in the configurations, means here go to configuration and you can update that, but still you have everything there, so it will create a complete form. Now let's go update this form. All right, and everything is already updated. You see the bind reference is book, it is binded to book, and if I check any field, you will see already binded to book ID. All right, now let's select this and open, and if we go to the submissions, go to form, this is our form, go to the submissions, and I would say model, and form data model submit, you need to select this is the model. Okay, save it and you are done. Okay, now let me try to submit that. And yes, before that you submit, you must have a submit button. So you can add submit button here and you are done. And if I try to submit now, it should submit, and it has been submitted. So we need to check the details, whether actually details are going there or not. So let me open my workbench, means my server, SQL server, open it. and I have created, so this is actually the table for the book. Okay, so let me use our GEEKS. I have already explained this. This is something not related to AEM. This is plain SQL server. So if I open this, I should see the entry we recently added. And you see there is an entry where book ID is equal to 16, author ID is 11, and the rest of the details. So that way you can straight away create a adaptive form using form data model. You can map actually the model fields, means your data fields, to your form. Here is the important part, is how to create form data model. Rest of the things are straightforward. So again, I would say please go back and check that tutorial. That is very important. I hope you understood. If you have any question, please add your comment.